Hello and welcome to another week of progress on the Foundation. This week's a little bit of a shorter update, and that's for two main reasons. First of all, Unity had an update to Unity 5 a little while ago, and this week I thought, well, I might as well modernize. I've been on the beta for a while, I might as well get to the real version. Well, the difference between the beta and the real version was pretty significant. There was a lot of errors, there were a lot of problems. It was not an easy transition. However, there was a lot of benefits that came out of it. And one of those is, if you hadn't noticed before, the Earth is not a soccer ball anymore. It is now very round and smooth. The new Unity sphere is terrible for texture wrapping, so I tried once more to get my high resolution sphere working, and what do you know? Unity's code for colliders and mesh colliders is much faster now. Much more improved, so I was able to switch it out easily. Now we have a beautiful, round, smooth Earth, which is wonderful and fixes a lot of other problems that were occurring. It allowed me a chance to fix a few minor UI bugs that were popping up, so some things work a lot better now. Also, I got some new tools for coding and also modeling, and in theory, this is going to be extraordinarily helpful for speeding up my process later on, because these tools aren't really for the geoscape screen. They're going to help me out with the modeling for the combat and base portions of the game. So those are the two main things. Those tools took a while to kind of play with and figure out whether I wanted to get them and how good they were going to work for me. And upgrading to Unity 5 was a pain. It's the other reason why this video is out so late, because it turned out that there was a ton of other errors that Unity wasn't telling me about, but now that's over with. So now, moving on, over here in the personnel tabs, one thing that was done is I am now randomly generating various personalities and people to be put into the game. I've still got quite a bit of work to do on my randomization, and I'm not really doing much of a differentiation between researchers and soldiers yet, so still a bit of work to do, but you can see they're being generated, they've got names. Also, some work was done on the psych reports. There's still some work left to do. This doesn't really make it very clear what the skills are and what ratings they're at, so I need to do a little bit of rearranging to it and a little bit of tweaking and rearranging to make it more obvious what the stats are of the character, because right now it's very unclear what the different stats are and how strong they are on this character, so I have to work on that. However, as you can see, it's readable, it flows pretty well, and doesn't look like it's computer generated, but these are randomly made out of a list of random sentences, and hopefully we'll make a readable summary of what the character is like once I finish figuring out how to set it up. The loyalty and service record tabs are not finished yet. Also, this is incredibly I'm not sure alpha's the right word for it even. I'm just decided I wanted to show you kind of really basically what I was looking at for the setup over here. Now, the sizes of all of this, what it looks like, everything's subject to change over here. The main thing I wanted to show you is that I was planning on having a list of equipment down near the bottom, and then on the sides of the character would be different areas where things can be assigned. Maybe a backpack, maybe main weapon, secondary weapon, armor, something like that. And so you'd reach down, find a weapon you wanted and assign it over there, and maybe drag some equipment over here to the backpack and set a piece of armor on down over there. And just be a very drag and drop thing, and the guy in the middle, eventually, that'll be a 3D representation of the character, the kind you would see on the base view or the combat screen. And as you drag and drop these things around, you can see it get equipped onto the character in the center. And I think that'll be pretty cool to see. It's a ways off from getting done, and it's not very useful yet because we don't have a combat or base portion yet. But I thought I would look into that and see what needed to be done in order to prepare for that. So those screens, they're turning out pretty nice. The other thing I want to show you has to do with some replacements for the overlays. So if you remember way back, I showed you some overlays for events that it would color the area around where an event showed up. The idea behind that I was trying to work towards is I wanted to give the player an opportunity to see different warning signs and be able to explore areas, send out recon teams out to areas to try and find things preemptively before bad things happen. But coloring that area made it pretty painfully obvious where you needed to send people. So I was trying to figure out something else, and then I was playing Xenonauts the other day, and I realized that they had a pretty good approach to it, and I thought I would try and copy that. So, alright, here we go. So here you see there's a marker that's been placed, and a little bit of text. I might make it so you have to click on this to see the text, but I think that I'll probably leave the text. It doesn't get in the way too much. But these markers will appear to indicate that a warning sign or a strange news event or strange reading was detected that indicates that somewhere around this area there's an anomalous event or entity that is causing some things to occur. Now anybody seeing this about the Philtransman Combine would know that that means there's a, oh gosh, it's that word again, Alexiilva. I'll never get it. That's a group of interest event. I don't think it's this one, but let's see. Nope. That was a Doctor of Wondertainment event. So somewhere around here, there's an Alexiilva University event that we have not discovered yet. And as time continues by, more of these warning signs might start popping up, and you'll be able to use multiple of those to try and triangulate where an event might be, to send out a recon team out to investigate and find the event without having to wait for it to pop up and appear, and possibly bring negative consequences along with it. Now, some people have mentioned that the world's starting to get cluttered. It's full of things. I mean, look at all this stuff. But in reality, I just want to point out that, first of all, most of these base icons that are up right now, they will be completely hidden during the gameplay. And so until you find an enemy base, it won't be listed on the map for you. Also, along with the toggleable overlays that I showed before, there will be toggles in order to hide all of these warning events, or hide all of the bases, or hide all the cities, or any other thing that ends up showing on the map. There'll be toggles in order to hide those groups of icons in order to make it clearer and cleaner so that you can get whatever you want done. Oh look, right here we got a second one. Now these are randomly chosen from a list of available strings. I don't have very much test data in yet, so obviously it's the same piece of test data, but see, we got right here, we have these two warning events. They're both talking about a man wearing a Philtransman Combine uniform, which means that it's probably the same event. Seeing that you have two of them, it's probably a good guess that it's somewhere in the middle of those two events. And so you could use that information to try and send out a recon force in the middle. But those are some of the changes I've been working on and that are in place. Plenty more good things to come. So next week, more work on the personnel screen, and I'll get back to the interceptions as well to get the other intercept actions working. So there should be some exciting stuff to see next week. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.